Christian AB, and we have ToXiCwAsteAA and Virmors playing. Do you want to introduce the players, Christian?
I don't know these personally. I haven't seen either of them around the community, but it seems from what I've from the play that we had before that Toxic does have a quicker micro so far.
Right. Okay, so I have Toxic Waste in the bottom left corner in purple, and Virmors is in the top right in green. Sometimes our screens don't match up, so I'll just let you know so we can talk about the same positioning. So far, Virmors has actually one extra. Oh no, they both have the same amount of factories. I thought she had made an extra one. I think Virmors is female, but I'm not sure. Maybe I've got that wrong. So
looks like they're going for different strats here.
Yeah, I'm not sure which power plant spot Virmors is going for.
It looks
South Sun
that one right next to their capital. That spot, they're leaving it open, so I think
then why are
Virmors is going to go for that.
expanding out here, and why are they scouting? Like this is so nice. This little they've got like 4 Xboxes right there stacked. That's a really nice spot. That's like my dream little map. if there was a map that was just that, I'd probably die immediately.
Looks like Toxic's already getting going with 5 factories getting on their power plant.
Yeah, I think Virmors is wasting troops. In my opinion, this is a waste of troops. It's not going to go, like they're not building anything, it's just taking empty land. And this is regicide, it's not empire, so I don't understand the reason.
It is.
The reasoning behind this. Do you think Toxic will get their power plant up first? And I'm not sure who's, I think that might be your head that's bobbing up and down. I'm going to take Bird's Eye off and put it back on, and then, now I have to rotate again. There we go.
Looks like Virmors is actually going for getting the power plant, or the factories for the second power plant going, even though Virmors doesn't have the first power plant, but that's starting to pick up very quickly.
Yeah, so we'll see. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to post in the Discord and tell everybody that we are streaming. I know Shaw is listening to us. Shaw, are you able to... Thank you, Shaw. Shaw's my hero. Yay.
It's like Virmors is already starting on on what looks to be a 6th factory. Oh, 5th. My bad.
Yeah, so there's...
While still
Toxic
working on that first power plant.
Toxic has their power plant up, and we'll be able to expand a lot faster and build that second one faster. This is not a great start for Virmors, but I mean, they still have time. There's a lot of power plant spots in between. There is a lot that can happen before they meet. And there we go. There's that other power plant up.
Yeah, there's that first power plant. Hopefully, now that Virmors has first power plant, she'll be able to chain quite a few more together.
Yeah. I don't think either player has been playing a lot lately. Toxic actually did say to me right before the match that they haven't been playing a lot, but it doesn't look like they've forgotten, either one's really forgotten how to play. Like they're moving their troops pretty well. Sometimes when you get like all these connections, when someone gets a really good spawn, you're like, they don't know what to do, it's overwhelming. And I think these symmetrical maps sort of lend to that sort of situation where it's like there's so many choices that sometimes it's overwhelming and you're not sure what's the best one.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Virmors seems to be trying to plan, but really spreading out way too much too early instead of trying to focus on that infrastructure. And I think we've seen that been an issue in other fights beforehand.
So
Now, both of them are making that decision to push out towards the not the center, but to the sides, which is very surprising. We saw that in our last match. Pushing out towards the center was very important for that win. Who was it that I was last casting? It was
I don't remember. Who it was.
It was only one match, but
that
it was
was
very
Piranha,
valuable that they went to the center.
And Marcos, because they only
Yes.
played one game. That's right.
Piranha went out towards the center, and Marcos decided to scatter towards the sides, and that really screwed over Marcos. Or in the later part of the round, where Piranha gained that traction. Now it looks like Virmors is actually picking up speed here, and microing quite a bit.
Yeah, you got it.
Quite a surprise.
She, they. Sorry, I'm not sure. I don't really ask people.
The character looks like a she, so I will go with her.
Okay. The power plant count is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4. Still in ToXiC's favor. She is very fast. Yes, Shaw is whispering to us. She is very fast. Actually, because she is so fast, I remember that's why I told her. But I told her about the in tournament and asked her to join. Look at this, where she's going down here. This what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's only a 7.
Up for me.
Right at the sort of it's the furthest one or the closest one to the middle that she's going at the bottom. It looks just like a cluster of connections. But it's only 7. It can't be just a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's only 7.
Virmors really picking up speed. Hopefully, it can catch up to ToXiC's level.
Yeah, and you can see they've chained in different ways. So it's a little bit interesting to see how that's working out, or see how it will work out.
We still have ToXiC going along the sides, and Virmors is trying to force up that center, well expanding on one of her sides towards the. You're looking at you have Virmors in your bottom left, correct?
No, I have Virmors in the top right, and ToXiCWaste is in the bottom left.
So in that top section, I definitely see Virmors trying to use that to her advantage later in the round.
Yeah, and
hopefully to gain a flank.
You can see the difference in micro, like all these little busy bees opposed to like these bigger blobs that are coming from ToXiC. Now, because ToXiC isn't microing, it's in some ways it's going to be harder to break through. Like you won't be able to tunnel through ToXiC's land as easily because there will be stacks of where things have built up. But, here we go. Let's see the initial thing. ToXiC has 11,000. Virmors has 8 gone off to the side. ToXiC has another 8 here. Look at this. This is like beautiful back and forth. Sort of. I'm really worried this is going to get trapped here.
Give it some time. I think.
Yeah.
Virmors is trying to make some smart pushes, but ToXiC is definitely putting up a hard defense here.
Now Virmors has taken one of ToXiC's power plants, which
I don't think that's going to last. I think that's going to be a definite back and forth fight.
Look at this at the bottom.
But Virmors does want to push.
Look, ToXiC has an artillery here taking this spot here, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Oh, maybe. Oh. It's costing Virmors a lot to keep that spot, and they finally retreated out of there. If they'd been able to put an
ToXiC's going in for a push on that center line. Let's see where this leads to.
No, this is a good game. Very fast. Virmors is now.
But Virmors is pushing that side. Definitely using those sides to the advantage. But I think this might be too damaging in the long run with ToXiC pushing through that infrastructure.
These troops here have gotten trapped Well, they're not trapped. She could pull them back, but they're definitely dead now. You're the one in the middle. Now she's going to take this artillery. Toxic does seem to have bigger blobs here that are being more effective. Oh, this blob here is trapped. Toxic's trapped here at the bottom. What's happening here? There's 11k coming in onto this power plant. She's got 16k here.
In my eyes, Toxic's
what?
Toxic's playing it hard, while Virmors is trying to keep it safe when trying to push in. I think Toxic or Virmors needs to find her way around a little more and try and knock in without trying to get these big blobs to concentrate on her.
Yeah,
Hopefully she's able to push in from that center line she's moving in through.
yeah, she's.
But I don't think she'll have enough time.
I think that was where she split 2,500 off and then has. That's not necessarily a good move there. Oh, she's coming in.
Let's take a look at that top right.
Oh,
Toxic is getting very close to that
Yes.
capital, and it's looking like time's running out for
and
Virmors.
you can see that troops are just going. So Virmors is panicking a little bit here to get stuff to the capital area. And this stuff.
And she just lost her front line blob.
Yeah, all of it gone. Gone. Let me just go in here. Zoom in. We've got 11k, and this is not holding. This 10k is going in. They've given up the fight on stopping this. I imagine there's going to be, and she said good game. There's an artillery on there.
Oh, she might. Oh, the artillery solidifies that win there.
Yeah. Now, if even she has some in that artillery, she's gonna hold it off. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Look at that.
That was very surprising.
But look, Toxic.
I think Toxic got a little too worried.
Toxic is coming in with some strong reinforcements here. So look at that. Well done. And that artillery is now made into a fort, so it can't be used against him.
Some good strats, and it's definitely going to pull Virmors' units back and prevent any future pushing. I think that's going to be a hard comeback if Virmors wants to win.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's not an easy. It's not going to be an easy win. But I don't think that Virmors has. Like, I don't think this is going to go well for Virmors here.
Have to pull off quite a lot of risky pushes in order to regain control. But I just don't see it happening.
You know, you gotta hand it to Virmors for not actually giving up at this point. Like, even though they had said good game, they're still fighting back. And it's possible.
Definitely.
I mean, like, look at that. There's like, how much is in that big blob? 26k? Like, it's possible that that gets through to the cap if there's nothing in the capital for Toxic. Let's see what happens here. I haven't seen Virmors make an artillery yet, though. I would like to see that. And this top fight is not looking good for them. There's another 19k going in there.
Another 15k coming on that bottom side.
Is that a glitch?
Oh, we got Virmors chasing after the 15k, but I think it's going to be too late. There's definitely not enough units in order to keep things going.
I don't know how much she has in her capital right now.
Let's hope it's enough to stop both the 15 and the 20k. Tox is going for the push.
So
looks like
it
might be viable.
Virmors is, I don't know, and going the other way. Now GG. Now GG. Okay. GG. Wow. Really good match. Oops.
It was a tight game at first, but I think Toxic definitely had the greater idea with keeping those units focused.
So let me just update the scores. before I forget, because I always forget. Well, I don't always, because just now I remembered. Ha-ha. Ha-ha! This game is going to be hard. So I kind of hope that Virmors wins this game and we go to a tiebreaker, because like it's pretty good. Watch.
Could be a good one.
Really.
I think Virmors, if Virmors made some better decisions early game with picking out where to put her power plants, that could have ended much worse for Toxic, and it would have been a much harder uphill fight for him.
Okay, so I again have Toxic in the bottom left and Virmors in the top right. I don't like this spawn. Like this.
I do not either.
For me, what I would do is I would not even try to put a power plant on my capital at first, and I would go for that 5 power plant spot. And then
I think I would too. I love getting my capital in the loop, but it's just not possible in this instance.
Well, I mean, it's possible. You can go for 4.
But it's not worth it. In my eyes, if it's 5 or nothing, because otherwise you're kind of wasting that amount of cash you used.
I would do 4 if I could get 2, like another, like 2 4s.
Yeah, if you could get 1 on the opposite side of those factories.
Yeah, cash. There is this 7 here, right underneath that 4, so maybe that's, I mean, a 4 and then a 7, that would be alright. I don't know, we'll see what they do. It looks like they're both going to go for the 4. They both have their factories they're building at exactly the same time this time. Let's just see if Virmors goes for the scouting. No, it looks like Toxic is scouting this time a little bit.
You know, it's definitely odd. Actually, I think Toxic is going to go for that power plant in the center first of that 6 drawing.
Oh, and now what's like they're both. I don't know what they're doing. I never know. I really.
It's definitely some odd gameplay choices here. I think going for a power plant first and getting that. Really? I'm surprised Toxic put a factory in that center.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused, unless if they're going for the power plant and that white space below that factory he just placed. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of odd.
Well, he might see this the 6 that's right beside it. Some people. I was talking to one person and they say they always make like 6 factories before they get a power plant. They think that's the fastest thing. I don't know. So, and where's Virmors going up here? Like, why would you take that one? That's like not connected to anything. I don't mean to be critical. I sound very critical. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's reasonable. It is confusing. I would totally go for that power plant. Otherwise, you're splitting up your resources a little bit too much.
Stuff. I don't know what they're doing. Oh. Bring it back. Get control of your troops. They're out of control. Oh, and so Toxic
pushing into that side,
so, and look at this one, like, oi, those troops are going back and forth, like, so much time wasted. They go down and then back up, like, it's not efficient. There's that power plant.
What I usually do is I try and get my units to the closest dot I want to move to first and take care of what's closest. That's precious, valuable time that could be definitely used against your opponent late game.
When you get into like higher, like games against higher level players, those every second counts. It really does.
Especially against like players like Purple Shear and very high skilled players. Yeah. Every second counts. And then late game micro is just really grindy.
Yeah. So I think they're actually
Now-
going to make a whatever. Shaw's
second-
another high player, level player too. I don't know what you're talking about, Shaw. Anyway, he just tried to 1v1 purples, and he's saying he avoids high level players. Toxic is confused because he can't hear us talking.
Looks like Toxic's definitely getting ahead in this with the with getting that second power plant up and surrounding it and starting to push out heavily. I just see a lot more units though. Virmors has done a lot more micro.
Yeah, well, and Toxic has, he's got 3 power plants. She's got 2. Like the map.
Both moving quick.
Yeah, both moving quick, but and it looks like there's better micro with all those busy bees. But if they're not actually creating anything, if they're not actually building anything, it's not. It's just movement. It's not. It's not.
Yes. Now I don't get why. Virmors just keeps moving units back, and that looks like it's going to be precious time wasted again, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Now Toxic going out for that
your sound is cutting out, so I don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry for the poor audio quality to everybody. I don't know what's happened to Christian. I don't know if Christian can hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
It was it broke up for a few moments, but everything's okay.
Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power plants for green, Virmors, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Toxic. Toxic is doing much better this game, in fact. It's clear that he's building a stronger production base.
I definitely agree. He's taking it slow, with spreading, with moving rather than microing. But it's working out for him.
It's more it's focused and thought out, I think.
Yes. On Virmors' side, it looks like it's more like a scramble to get things moving and try and catch up.
A lot of busyness, but not very efficient or effective. I think Toxic is much more effective and efficient. There are a couple spots that are blank here. I seem to have forgotten, but other than that,
I think he's going to take his time with moving out that section.
Maybe. I mean, it's still building up that part. They're not far apart in terms of percentage of the map, but I do like some of the chains that Toxic does, but not all of them.
I don't like the choices made in that triple power plant section.
No, well, 2 of them would be good. The 2.
Yes.
And then if you put the 3rd one off, just over to the left a little bit, that would have been better in my opinion. And then if you, I don't know.
I think they're all great sections.
So Virmors is doing this side movement again, where Toxic is coming in with 24k. Virmors has got the troop split. There's 9k up here, 4k coming down.
Virmors is playing a little bit more aggressive than last game, though I don't know if she's going to be able to catch up in defense with that 24k that's moving right down the center. I think Toxic made that plan this game.
Why is she chasing 6k with 4k? I don't understand that. And there's another, that's That's
trying
a
to
really
eliminate
bad
it before
fight
it becomes
there.
an issue,
This,
maybe?
This bullet, I think this is what white.
I think that might be the end of the round if that gets through. She's running out of time.
She's moving everything, so you know that there isn't a lot in any one particular point. She hasn't stacked anything to defend. See that he took that.
Yeah, I think Toxic made the right decision going for the Hail Mary shot.
Well, Toxic knows where he's going. I mean, obviously they both know where they're going. Toxic is preparing himself for a defense here. I don't know if Virmors has anything in the cap to defend. Like, he did take the long way around to the capital. Like, he went up this way, and I wonder if that's just because he has this extra, what is that, 8k? I can't read the purple and the green. I have a really hard time with that. As a reinforcement to come back, come and make an artillery at the end. Here we go. But like
I'd like to definitely
Virmors got
review
very
this match.
close here, but it looks like
that might be it.
Yeah, like there's only 2k in there. That's it. Good game.
That's it, GG. That was a good play. Definitely, Virmors started build up, continue pushing out, but when Toxic built up that massive army in the back without Virmors being able to see it, and then sending it, and then just pulling all the rest of his units back, and just letting Virmors take the land. That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
It's a great distraction that allowed him to make that push towards the capital.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just looking. This is the losers bracket, right? Like Shaw just said. Yeah, no, it's losers bracket.
Yes.
So yeah. So Virmors is out of the tournament, and we will, I guess, end it now. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good Friday night. Bye.
Thank you for joining us tonight.